That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, man, Jeff Trunapole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, the Ice Cave is sponsored by...
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything, I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
That's right. We'll be back there live this Sunday at 3:30. The game is at 4:25. So make sure you guys come on down to Moorline Lager House for a watch party. Please make your reservations now, so you make sure you get a table. I'll be down there DJing, giving away prizes and stuff. We're playing music in between the commercials. You got $5 drafts, $5 well drinks, $5 house wines, and $5 shot of the day. So it's going to be an awesome time. We're going to watch Joe Flacco make his Bengals debut. And if he does good, I might have next time, I might have some Flacco around and find out t-shirts. Who knows? We'll find out. See how he does first. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got Stranger in there. We got Brandon there. We got Nick, excuse me. And we got Lindsay. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. So the Bengals are taking on the Packers this Sunday at 4:25. Like I said, Joe Flacco will make his first start for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I got a couple graphics here I want to pop up for why I think Joe Flacco will do a lot better with the Bengals, starting for the Bengals than he did with the Browns. Because I'll put it this way, when he has weapons, he does pretty good. So, Joe Flacco had the passer rating of 90.3 with 1,312 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions in 5 games as a starter with Micah Pittman Jr. in his career. Good offensive player. Another one. Joe Flacco had his passer rating of 60.3 with 815 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 4 games as a starter with Jerry Jeudy in his career. And his passer rating of 85.1 with 1,307 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4 games as a starter with Amari Cooper in his career. My point to all this is none of those guys are Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant, any of the other weapons that we have. This is going to be the best receiving crew he's ever had in his career. That includes the year he won the Super Bowl with the Ratbirds. So I'm here to tell you, the offensive line gives him time, which he will get rid of the ball faster. He's going to be a quicker decision maker than Jake Browning was. He's going to be able to hopefully get the plays in faster. Now, that's going to be the thing they're going to have to figure out Sunday. Get the plays in, get the play call. I'm not sure how quickly that'll happen on Sunday. Hopefully they'll get that figured out. But going forward, I know he'll be better at that than Jake Browning was. He's going to be a better decision maker. He's got a better arm. I mean, he knows the Green Bay Packers. He's already played them one, and he beat them. And it's like Ty Schmidt said on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. He's already worried about it. So we'll see what happens. But for my guest for today, we're going to talk some Bengals, and we're going to talk the number 26 ranked University of Cincinnati Bearcat football team. They're taking on Central Florida. He covers the Bearcats for the front office news. He's on Bearcat Blitz podcast. He is the one and only Neil Meyer. What's up, Neil?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. I am ready for this weekend. Ready for not only the Bengals, but also the number 26 ranked Bearcats, baby. They looked pretty damn good. Beat number 14 team. Were you surprised that they weren't ranked in the top 25?
I was not, because honestly, with how the voting goes, obviously Cincinnati entered last week without receiving any votes within the top 25. So for them to have that big momentum win, everybody kind of knew, hey, if we beat Iowa State, we're not just going to immediately jump to the top 25 without receiving votes the week prior. So overall, to see them sit at 26 was probably right where I expected them to be. But Saturday was a big win and a big turning point for Scott Satterfield and the Bearcats.
It exactly was. Now, roll this on to the Bengals here a little bit here. We'll do some Bearcat talk a little later. How surprised, happy, in disbelief, can't believe the Browns did it. How are you surprised Joe Flacco is a Cincinnati Bengal?
Well, Jeff, before we get started, I'm looking at a screenshot from the day that Joe Burrow was announced out for remainder of the season, potentially, with this season ending turf toe injury. And it
potentially. We're not to be. He might come back in December.
It was dated September 15th. And I tweeted, I said, right when the news came out, I said, I'd be calling Cleveland, New York, and Tampa Bay ASAP. And below it, I said, get a veteran like Flacco, Winston, or Bridgewater in the building and hope that they can keep the Bengals season afloat until December if Joe could potentially return.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looked at me like I was stupid. And I am here to tell you, and what's even better is I posted it on my Instagram story and I said, how about you just give up a 6th or a 7th and call it a deal until Joe gets healthy? Let's debate it. The amount of people that slid up and said I was stupid, I got time of day right now. I got the time. My DMs are open. Let's talk about it. Because in the end, Jake Browning was not it. They should have made this move 3 weeks ago, right? I get they wanted to give Jake Browning some time. He's been in the system. But they waited too long. They desperately did. Because if Cincinnati goes 0-5 here in this period, where they fall to 2-5 with losses to Green Bay and Pittsburgh in the next 2 weeks, Zach Taylor might have to be thinking, I'm out at Cincinnati. That's how desperate this move was. Now, you would have liked to see it 2 weeks ago, in my opinion, but I would have rather had a guy like Jameis Winston or a Teddy Bridgewater or a Trey Lance or somebody else better than Joe Flacco. However, Flacco...
Hold on. Trey Lance hasn't done shit. Winston throws more receptions than anybody, so... I was out on both of them. I don't think they would have been better than what
I wanted Winston for one reason.
Don't say it because it'd be entertaining and fun, because that's stupid.
The PR would have been iconic.
I would win. I don't care.
Anytime you throw a touchdown to Jamar, you get Jameis Winston down there hitting a gritty. That would have been legendary content. But
I'll take Joe Flacco and throwing a touchdown and the Bengals winning over that though.
Right. But for the reason I say Flacco fits the system just a little bit more than what Winston was, per se, to some of these other guys, is Flacco is a pure passer. And like you mentioned, he has never thrown to receivers like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant. He's never had a dominant wide receiver core. And this wide receiver core is arguably the best in the NFL, if not the best in the NFL when healthy. Yeah. However, this offensive line right now scares me.
And it does. That's the one thing we can't. That's one thing we can't fix right now. Now, Lucas Patrick may be back. I don't know if that helps or not.
I don't think that really fixes anything, to be honest.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. They ran the ball with him when he was in there better than they did with that. I don't know if one guy makes a difference, but when he was in there, they ran the ball better. Now, the one thing I will say that, and this is where I've said this is where Joe Flacco is going to help the offensive line, is he will get rid of the ball quicker. And he ain't going to hang on to it like Jake Browning or like Joe Burrow. If it ain't there, he's getting rid of it. So that, to me, and he's got a elite arm. So he can fit balls into window, even if it's going to be off time a little, because Zach even talked about this in his press conference. Is he going to try to have T and Jamal stick around and try to get the timing right? And he's like, no, because we got the game on Thursday, so it's kind of a short window. He goes, but with Joe Flacco's arm, he can make up for some of that. So that's the thing with me, is where I think Joe Flacco is going to help out the offensive line more than Jake Browning did, because last year when Joe Burrow was cooking, he wasn't hanging on to the ball that long. And we're getting to the point of the season where the Bengals start cooking. We get to the end of October, beginning of November. I know it's still like October, but we're getting to that point where they start playing better. I don't know why it happens during Zach Taylor's era, but it always does. Am I expecting them to win in Green Bay? I don't know if I can say I expect it. I think there's a chance. I will be pleasantly surprised if we do. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. I think there's a chance, but I'm not counting out. They're favored. Actually, the Bengals are favored by 14.5 right now, which I thought was kind of surprising.
No, they're not favorites. Green Bay's favored.
Green Bay's favored by 14.5. That's kind of surprising. That's why I take the Bengals on. I think they could score 14.
The reason I feel less confident about Cincinnati heading into Green Bay with Joe Flacco is there's a good chance that Green Bay gets one of their top receivers back this week in Christian Watson. That's a little worrisome with our secondary are banged up. Obviously, the Flacco move only changed the spread by 0.5 point. So in the end, Green Bay is still probably going to win this game if you had to ask me. But I just don't think right now Cincinnati's offensive line, which has struggled, will truly have an answer for a guy like Michael Parsons. That's going to be your question mark, especially with Joe Flacco's being first week. Yes, he might have been able to beat Green Bay once this season, but you know how hard it is to beat that same team twice in one season, yet alone twice in 3 weeks. So there's a lot to think about heading into this week.
Well, I think that's where it comes back to getting rid of the ball faster and making quicker decisions, because Joe Flacco, one, has never been mobile. He's even less mobile. So, like I said, that's where the processing part of the game, where Joe Flacco is going to process it and spit it out way faster than Jake Browning did, because he's good at it and he's been doing it forever. That's where I think that is going to give, like I think Lindsay said it. Somebody said in the chat that Joe Flacco might give the offensive line more confidence, because one, they know where he's going to be. He ain't going to move. And two, he's going to get rid of the ball. Yeah, and he's going to get rid of the ball quicker. So it should be a little easier to pass protect for him. Again, and like I said, everybody that comes on here is not as positive about it as I am, because I look at it as the Bengals made a move. And out of the quarterbacks that everybody kept talking about, Russell Wilson's washed. Jameis Winston never was. Teddy Bridgewater, like you mentioned, he's never been the same since he broke his leg. He's okay. Joe Flacco has won a Super Bowl. He's won NFL Comeback Player of the Year just 2 years ago. I mean, he's been there, done that. To me, out of everybody that the Bengals could get, I think he's the best one available. And I'm shocked that the Browns traded him to us. Basically just gave him to us. I mean, we had to give him a 5th-round pick. We got Joe Flacco and a 6th-round back.
It basically was a pick swap, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, we dropped one round.
Cleveland ate the $1 million that was left on his deal. So
right,
essentially it was basically a free deal, basically.
Right.
But in the end, personally, I wish this move, if that was what the terms were going to be, I wish that would have been your deal 2-3 weeks ago.
Well, I'll go back to, so I was one of the ones not thinking you're an idiot, but I was willing to roll with Jake, because Jake did do pretty darn good 2 years ago when he was the Bengals quarterback. Now, I roll it back to keep giving John Sheeran credit for this, because he said this on my show the week of Jake's first start, as he had a bad feeling that the NFL had a book on Jake Browning, because toward the end of that season against Kansas City and the Steelers, he didn't do as good. And so far, John was right. I mean, they've got a book on him, and he hasn't done good. They're confusing the crap out of him. He's throwing the ball into triple coverage. He's throwing the ball. He's missing wide open receivers, which is just ridiculous. And that's the thing. That's one thing that people, and I know Cap was saying this on Monday, but he's right. There are wide open wide receivers that Jake Browning was missing, and he had time to throw the ball. So there are times. The offensive line isn't great, but Jake Browning will get rid of the ball faster and recognize stuff way quicker than Jake Browning did. That's where I'm like, it should look better. I'm not confident enough to sit there and say it's definitely going to look better, but it should look better because of Jake Browning's ability compared to not Jake Browning, Joe Flacco's ability. Been there, done that compared to what Jake Browning has shown us here in the last 3 or 4 games. So that's where I'm like, this is an upgrade. No matter how many people want to tell me he's old, he's 40. Yeah, so it gives us a chance. And so thinking back, it would have been nice if they would have traded for somebody, but they wouldn't have got Joe Flacco then because he was still starting for the Browns. The Browns weren't going to trade him then. They just benched him last week. So we couldn't have gotten Joe Flacco then. So it would have been Bridgewater or it would have been Jameis Winston. And I just really like you brought him up. And that's the one that just, it kind of irks me that so many people wanted to get him. And I'm like, why? He throws more interceptions than Jake Browning does. And everybody said kind of the same thing you did. It'd be entertaining. I'm like, but he's not going to be any better than Jake Browning.
Jameis would have been able to throw the ball downfield a little bit and still
to the other team.
I mean, you look at all the stats too right now. I mean, no quarterback out there was going to be able to be like, oh, hey, I can make these deep throws. All of these quarterbacks available have a high interception rate, whether that's Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Teddy Bridgewater. The list can go on and on. But for me personally, I would like to say thank you to Jake Browning because I did win some money off of you in the Minnesota game because them 2 interceptions, that was a freaking lock. The spread was a lock. 2 interceptions a game was a lock for the last 3 weeks. Joe, you got to give me 1 this week. So I'm saying keep the streak going.
We don't want any.
We don't want any.
I want you to lose money. I want you to lose money, Neil.
And these student loans aren't cheap, Jeff. And you've been hitting. A college boy got to do what a college boy got to do here. But in the end, I would like to see the Bengals win. But at Lambeau, I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be interesting to see how this group responds to a kind of a new voice in the locker room like Joe Flacco. And then the fact that that they even traded within the division, knowing Mike Brown is crazy to think about because to be honest with you, I didn't even think Mike Brown knew how to pick up the phone to make a trade.
Well, well, who knows? Mike Brown actually did it. It might have been someone.
It might have been Katie. It might have been Elizabeth. Yeah. But
hell, it might have been Duke. Who knows?
The fact that they did it within the division was huge.
That's the crazy thing. That's what I keep going back to. Yeah, there you go. Just like Juan here. Jameis Winston is equal to Jake Browning. Yeah, I'm with you, Juan. That's kind of where I was at. But that goes back to the thing. Because I think Josh Isles said it on in the comments the other day that this is the first time the Bengals and Browns have made a trade since the Browns came back in '99. They haven't made a trade. The other one they tried to trade A.J. McCarron. We tried to trade A.J. McCarron to the Browns a couple of years ago, a while ago. I think the fax machine or something messed up, and that didn't go through. That's the shocking thing to me is why in the hell did the Browns just give us Jake Browning when we're in their division? And that's why I keep trying to tell everybody. I understand it's a long shot, and I've gotten called the fat guy on Dumb and Dumber and all that stuff for my different reels and stuff I'm putting out there saying there's a chance. There is a chance. I'm not crazy. The Ravens are 1-4. The Bengals were 1-4 last year. We had to win 5 straight games last year to try to have a shot to get in the playoffs. Can the Ravens do that? Sure, they can. It's a long shot. It's hard. I mean, if the Bengals can pull one out in Green Bay and pull one out here, pull a couple of them out of here and stay like 500, maybe a game above before if Joe Burrow comes back, which hopefully he does, then we're in this thing. I'm like, this division is wide open. What was ticking me off is we were literally just handing the division to the Steelers. And I'm like, they're not even that good. I'm like, And you don't think Steelers fans are worried about facing Joe Flacco? I mean, he's beat them multiple times. I mean, he knows the Ravens. He knows his division. I mean, it's just crazy that the Browns traded him to us. And again, I'm not saying that Joe Flacco is the next coming of Joe Burrow or anything, but to me, this is the best quarterback you could have got in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But another reason Joe Flacco knows the division so well is because A, he's been around the division, but B, he's probably been with almost every team within the division now outside of the Steelers. So overall, he knows what you got to do to win in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be interesting to see how do they respond to him. Now, if they're smart, it's checkdowns, hitches, and something short.
It's going to be a very small playbook.
As much as you can.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
We said that 3 weeks ago with Jake Browning too. So I mean,
yeah, but Jake Browning's been in the system for 4 years. Joe Flacco's literally just got here today, so it's got to be a very small playbook. I don't care if they cram, 36 hours of work in 24 hours. Like Zach was pretty much saying what they're doing. He's not going to know the whole playbook. There's no way. So it's going to be a smaller playbook, and it's going to be simpler plays. Hopefully, I say simpler plays, but hopefully more imaginative plays. Ones that they make easy throws for Joe. I hope. I mean, so comparing the playbook to what Jake Browning had to Joe Flacco, I don't think you can, because, like I said, the playbook is going to be, I wouldn't even say half. I have no idea how much you can cram in. Now, Zach said there are a lot of stuff that are similar, because there's a lot of different play calls and stuff are similar from team to team, but it's not going to be the full playbook. That's for daggone sure. And then we got a short week next week, so he might not have a grasp of the whole playbook till his third start, really.
Yeah, and that's a good turning point too, but it's safe to say that everybody knows this was a quote-unquote desperation move for not only the Bengals, but for Zach Taylor as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what we look at versus the Packers on Sunday, Pittsburgh next week, and then obviously after that. But in order for Cincinnati to be successful here, they needed to make a move. They really did.
Absolutely.
But now, are we going to see if they made the right move? Is going to be the real question.
Right. And the thing is, we're really going to everyone wants to see how good of a coach Zach Taylor and Dan Pitcher are. Well, you're going to find out in 5 days, because they got to cram and do everything they can to get Joe Flacco ready. I mean, even if he is a veteran quarterback, he's been there and done that, there's a lot of work they got to put into this guy to get him ready to start on Sunday. So this is going to say a lot about, in my opinion, how good a coach Zach and Dan Pitcher actually are. Yeah,
absolutely. And if things don't go right for Zach Taylor, he might be looking for a new head coaching job. Who knows? But
I still don't think that's going to happen until like the end of the season. I mean, we're in week 5. We're in the second month of the season.
But if you go on an 8-game, 9-game losing streak,
I'm
not saying that will happen.
But I'm talking about Sunday. I'm like, everybody keeps wanting to jump to let's fire Zach. Let's just win Sunday. That's all. I'm kind of like Zach.
If they win Sunday, he saves himself
another week.
Maybe another week. Or if they have another performance like they had versus Minnesota, who knows? But I don't think we see 4 interceptions on Sunday, but I think we see some points get on the board. But it's going to be interesting, because for those who remember that game versus Cleveland versus Green Bay, Cleveland got lucky that Green Bay essentially fucked up at the end with that game-winning field goal. But it was a low-scoring game. Maybe Joe saw something in that defense where they were able to kind of nitpick it. And, I mean, if he can beat it with a Jerry Jeudy on the outside and 2 Division III level wide receivers out there, cool. All by means, I have a little bit of hope. But for them to be successful, Jamar and T need 10 targets each on Saturday or on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I keep saying, and I'm going back to, I'll keep saying what Cap said, because he was right about this. Jake Browning was missing wide receivers. I don't think Joe Flacco is going to miss them. He's going to hit them. He's not going to throw in triple cover. If he does, then we're screwed. But I don't think he's going to. And Justin's in here saying it's going to be bad. It might be. I have no idea. Like I said, I choose always to be optimistic about it. That's just me. And it's the funny thing is, like, I had people on the show yesterday because Trags was supposed to be on with me yesterday, and he wasn't able to join. So then I opened it up to other people, in the chat to come in and talk. And I'm not criticizing. I'm not upset. It's just a difference. My mindset isn't even. I'm not even thinking 2 weeks down the road. I'm thinking Sunday. Like, let's get a win Sunday, and then we'll figure. Because everybody keeps wanting to jump. Well, if this doesn't happen, then they're probably gonna fire Zach Taylor. Yeah, this season sucks. Yes, Zach Taylor's probably getting fired. Like, all I'm thinking is let's win Sunday. Like, let's concentrate on that and see what happens. Like, I don't get the whole thing. Let's hurry up and jump to this point. Like, we can get mad about that when that happens, if it happens. But you know what? If we win, we're all gonna be ecstatic. And the thing is, Shamar Stewart is back at practice. We'll have to see how it goes, how today went, and that's what Zach said. That's another piece because this team is healthy, other than Joe Burrow and Shamar Stewart. They're the ones that really have been hurt. If we get Stewart back, and Patrick might be back. We got almost everybody back. So there's a chance. Is it a great chance? No, but it's a chance, and that's all you can ask for when you're doing this. And I think this is the thing. Like, to me, it energized me for them getting Joe Flacco. What do you think it did to that locker room? Because we saw Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and they're distraught and frustrated because they can't get the ball and they're not winning. What do you think that move did to that locker room? To me, I think it's like, all right, they're with us. And you can say it's a desperate move, whatever you want to say. They made the move. I don't care when they made it. They made it. And to me, it's on the verge of being too late, but it's not too late yet the way this division is. That's where you have to look at where we're at in this division. We're in second place. We're one game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's open for us. So is it too late? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late per se, especially being in the division. Cincinnati's 1-0, Baltimore's 1-0, Cleveland's 0-2. Like, this division is up for grabs. And essentially, you look down at the AFC right now. The AFC is essentially still fairly wide open, but it's now or never for Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, it is for sure. That's it. That's true. And Lindsay, you're right. They were talking on the phone about the playbook when the Bengals sent 2 cars up there for Joe, one for Joe Flacco and one for his family. and Joe and Zach were talking. Zach didn't say how long. It was a 4-hour drive. They could have talked the whole time. I have no idea. But Lindsay wants to know, what about Fairchild? I haven't seen him on the injured list or anything. I know he got dinged up. Have you seen anything about Fairchild there?
I know he was dinged up, and they kind of had him at questionable heading into the week, but I haven't seen any update as of today.
We got Teddy Joe Flacco. Sometimes you get some weird comments in here. I'm not bringing that one up. Oh, we got some weird names in the chat here. So with that being said, I want to talk about the defense a little bit, and that's where the funny thing is, going into this season, we're all worried about the defense. Most of us weren't that worried about the offensive line because we thought they had improved. The defense is actually, I think, played pretty good in the last couple weeks. Now, the problem is they've been on the field too long, I think. So that's where that part, I think, is getting overshadowed by how inept the defense is, or the offense is. We only scored 44 games in 3 games here. What's your thoughts on the Bengals defense?
Yeah, well, most importantly, let's go back to Dylan Fairchild. I just looked up the injury report. Dylan Fairchild did not practice today due to the knee injury.
Okay.
So not a great feeling as of right now. Obviously, It's still early in the week, but still not a great feeling on that aspect. But the defense is starting to come together. I like to see the younger guys out there, Josh Newton, Jordan Battle. I like to see those. Demetrius Knight's been a very bright spot in the linebacker core, but overall, we need more from CTB. Obviously, everybody kind of knows that, but we need to find ways to get pressure to the quarterback outside of Trey. So if Shamar's able to go as well on Saturday, that kind of allows things to go back to how Cincinnati may have planned it. But overall, Cincinnati is going to need a turnover or two this weekend to kind of trickle things into their favor again as well.
Well, that's the thing. If you go back to the beginning of the season, this was an opportunistic defense, and so they've still been that. I don't know what the turnover battle was. Well, I think we lost the turnover battle last week. The week before that, I think we won it against Denver, and we still lost the game. But it's been definitely a opportunistic defense, and if you get Shamar Stewart back, that'll help get some more pressure on that quarterback too. So, and somebody said the drive was only. Oh yeah, Trevor. You said it's only a 2.5 hour drive. I don't know where you think Cleveland and Cleveland, Ohio, Cincinnati is here, and Cleveland is all the way up here. It's a 4 hour drive or longer. So
yeah, it's about 4.5 up there. So
yeah, I'm not sure where you got 2.5 hours, but I've driven it up and back in one night.
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, it's definitely not two. I wish it was 2.5 hours, but no, it's not. All right, so we're half hour into this. Let's talk some Bearcat football here. So we've seen this before where Satterfield has gotten off the good starts and is kind of dive bombed in the second half. But I'm seeing something different. The Kansas game showed me something. That was the game I think last year or 2 years ago we would have lost. But they
we would have
back.
lost both of those games last year, Kansas and Iowa State.
Yeah, we fought back and won both of them. So to me, that shows this team is different than the last couple of years under Sat, which I've been critical of Sat, but like I said, I just want to win. It's something I say about Zach, and I just want to win. I don't care what it takes. I don't care who's in it. I want to win. I want the Bearcats to win. They're, like I said, they're 26th ranked in the country. Big game against Central Florida here. What does this say? How is this team different than most teams that Satterfield has had in the past couple of years?
I would say the leadership. And that's what I would say. Brendan Sorsby has taken a huge leap into being a leader for this team.
Yes.
And I mean, you see it throughout practices, you see it throughout his press conferences and whatnot. But overall, I think he's taken the leadership role by storm. Gavin Gerhardt, another big leader, Dante Corleone. I think those are your true leaders on the team. And they've all made sure to take this next step in year 3. But overall for Cincinnati as well, like defensively is where they're making plays. And I mean, you look down last season for them to make the next step. I mean, last season they were without their 2 starting defensive ends, a starting D tackle. Like they were banged up all the way around the front, and teams are now starting to see what those guys really were like and what they were missing a season ago. But for me, I would say they're playing with more discipline, and they have great leadership within their players as well.
I really think their offensive line is really gelled this year. They
Nick
ran the ball.
Nick Cardwell will find his way to an NFL coaching job here in the next 5 years. I'll say that right now.
I mean, that offensive line is mauling people, dude. And the running game, which running? I can't remember which running back
with the truck stick.
Oh, dude, he drilled. It looked like Corey Dillon drilling somebody.
I knew a play like that was coming, Jeff, because I was on the sideline for the first drive.
Yeah.
And Tawi's first carry, I mean, he rocked this dude's world, bounced off him, rocked another one. And I think I looked at JT, and Harrison was actually right behind me.
Yeah.
And I think I looked at Harrison. I said, oh, shit, today might be a day where Tawi just goes nuts. And then next thing you know, he made number 14, the linebacker. That poor boy, he's probably still feeling it. Like, they're probably still picking up pieces from Nippert Stadium because Tawi just ran him over. And for people who think about football, right? Your running back is on average, roughly 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1" in that range. I am 5'8" on a good day, 5'8" on a good day, 5'7". Tawi Walker is my size, built like a brick porterhouse. And I mean, Jeff, that tackle, he said, boom.
Yeah.
That was straight shoulder. Like he just leveled that dude.
Drilled him. It was to me that was a statement right there in itself that we come to play, boys. We're gonna knock you on your ass, and they did, and they have for even the Nebraska game. They were in that game. They've been in every single game this year. And we'll get back to Sorsby. I agree that his leadership this year, I think, started really in the offseason. Talking about how he was recruiting other wide receivers and other players to come here, and now talking to them on Twitter, calling on the phone, different things like that. Just talk about the maturity that you see from Sorsby from one year to the next.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of maturity. Obviously, he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable here in Cincinnati. I mean, I'm not going to share what he said to me when I crossed paths with him at the catwalk on Saturday while I was taking pictures of the guys coming in. I'm not going to share what he told me, but he did stop and he did give me some words, and it was probably the most confident and cockiest I have heard Brendan Sorsby, but he walked the walk, and hey, that's what you need from your quarterback on these big games. But overall, I mean, year 1 to year 2, you can see the comfortability level. I mean, he put on 15 pounds in the offseason, like straight muscle. Like Nico Palizzetti was his best friend this offseason. And like many others, Nico got those boys right. But overall, I think it starts with him. Like you're starting to see how comfortable he is. And when he can use his legs too, and he can really make an impact in the run game as well, like that opens a lot of things up for Cincinnati. And I mean, Jeff, you and I talked about the wide receiver room early this offseason. People are just now starting to see
they're good.
A Caleb Goody, a Jeff Caldwell, a Cyrus Allen. Cyrus Allen is the biggest trash talker I have ever met as a wide receiver, like that I have covered. He talked his shit going into Kansas. He backed it up, and rightfully so. Like you gotta talk the talk, to walk the walk, and he did that. But this wide receiver room, they all have things that are so unique. Jeff has 4.4 speed at 6'5", can broad jump 11.9. Caleb Goody, I mean, it's not hard to overthrow. It's not hard. Really, it's hard to overthrow Caleb Goody because he's so quick. And Brendan Sorsby did it twice on Saturday. And then when that final play broke loose, I was actually down on the field when it happened. I looked and I said, oh, that post is going to be there. And then what happened? As soon as Sorsby floated up, I said, Caleb's got this guy off the line cooked right when the play developed. So people are finally starting to see the talent and the weapons that Scott Satterfield and them have brought in. But you got to give Sat and them the credit, but you got to give much more credit to guys like Jack Griffith and Zach Grant, general manager and director of player personnel as well, for identifying this talent and being able to keep them in Cincinnati.
Exactly. And I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, the way they're playing, I wanted a bowl game, but right now, I'm thinking Big 12 championship. I mean,
I think I can make some time out of my schedule to that first weekend of December to book a trip to Dallas if work allows it. So overall, I think right now the Big 12's up for grabs. Everybody knows that.
There's no dominant
up there with TCU, or not TCU, Texas Tech in terms of physicality, because this team's playing more physical, and that's what they wanted to do with the 3-3-5. And I mean, they set the standard on Saturday. I mean, Simeon Coleman laid an absolute hit stick. Christian Harrison laid a hit stick. Logan Wilson, like these guys are starting to play more physical and more loose now as the season came on with Big 12 play. So overall, you have the big one on Saturday versus UCF. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
All right, so let's talk about the opponent, Central Florida. What's the keys? What does Central Florida do good? What do they do bad? What's the keys to Bearcats pulling a win out on Saturday?
Well, let's start at the quarterback position. Obviously, it's going to probably be a situation that was similar to last season where Cincinnati entered that game with no idea who was going to be starting at quarterback. Every quarterback for UCF is banged up right now. Starter Tavian Jackson exited last week with an injury. Ja'Cory Brown had an AC joint sprain earlier in the season. He's just now starting to get back into the fold. Cam Fancher has got benched, and then he's now back in the fold with the injury. So who knows who's actually going to start at quarterback on Saturday for UCF. So that's the biggest thing to note, because they're all dual threat quarterbacks, but could be a situation where they end up going down to Orlando last season and they find out who the starter is as the teams take the field. So that's the biggest thing. But UCF offensively, they're going to run the football behind Miles Montgomery, former UC Bearcat. And since conference play started, Miles, before we talk about Miles was great to cover. Always appreciated our time interviewing him and whatnot. He was always checking in on us. He actually gave me about 15 minutes of an interview down in Dallas this summer. So appreciate Miles for that. But it's going to be an emotional game for him. But he's averaging 120 yards on the ground in conference play. So I think they're going to rely heavily on Miles Montgomery on Saturday here at Nippert Stadium.
Yeah, he's got to take on the Godfather. How is the Godfather doing? I know he was coming back from the injury. He played Saturday. Is he 100% back? Is he close to it? Where's he at?
He was a true game time decision heading into Iowa State. He ended up playing, I think, looking at the snap count, if I remember right, it was 32 or 34 snaps. So he was on a snap count, but sounds like from everything that we have heard, he is no setbacks, nothing like that following the Iowa State game. So that's a huge sign. So expect him to be a full go on Saturday without a snap count. But Dante, man, I don't know, Jeff, did you see the quote where we asked him how he was celebrating the game after Saturday?
I think I did, but refresh my memory.
We asked him, we said, how are you going to celebrate this win? Obviously, first ranked win at home, especially during his 5-year career. And he said, he looked at JT and I, and he smacked the podium. He said, brother, I'm going home. He said, that Tylenol wore off a long time ago. And Dante, I feel you on that one. Once you hit that age, man, you're like, I'm going home, man. I'm going home. But I think we see him out there on Saturday, and hopefully see him back making some big time plays and stopping the UCF run game.
Exactly. Now, why is the tight end UC's tight end from Elder? Why is his name is escaping me? Why can't I remember?
Joe Royer?
Yeah, Joe Royer. Now he got banged up the week before. He played last week. How is he doing? Is he got any ill effects or anything?
He's all good. That was just a little whiplash kind of thing, and they held him out at Kansas more of a precaution. So he's all good. He played all of Iowa State. He's back in action, ready to go. He practiced in full yesterday.
Do you think he's the best tight end in Big 12 right now?
Yes. Between him and Baylor's tight end, Baylor's tight end's pretty legit too, but I still think Joe Royer is your top 2 tight ends in all of college football this year.
Absolutely. Is he a top 10 first round pick, you think?
Nah, if he's going to go first round, I think he's probably going to go late first round, probably in the 28 to 32 range would be my guess. Maybe 26, 32 range, but if he's going in the first round, that's where he would probably be slotted.
Let's talk about a little bit of this wide receiving core here, because you told me it was good, and not saying I didn't believe you, but seeing is believing. I'll put it that way. They look fast, tough, and athletic. Where are they ranked as far as a group, in your opinion, in the Big 12? Because the Big 12 has got it's an offensive league. Where do you think UC's wide receiver?
The wide receiver room stands.
Yeah.
Texas Tech has a nasty wide receiver room. So does TCU, but I would say UC's probably top 3 or top 4.
So, in your opinion, do they have a shot at this Big 12 championship?
Absolutely, especially if all things go well, they stay healthy. I mean, that offensive line is eating good on the field and off the field, because Brendan Sorsby has been taking him to Jeff Ruby's after every win. So they're eating good on and off the field. So if they can continue to maul in the trenches, Cincinnati is going to be probably playing for a Big 12 championship, or at least in contention for one later this season. Because realistically, Jeff, if all things go well and Cincinnati continues at this trajectory, there's a shot they could be 7-1 heading into their biggest match of the year in Utah.
Yeah. Now, what week is that? How many weeks away is that?
The Utah game is November 1st. So, and Utah was ranked top 25 to start the year. So they might be ranked both teams might be ranked when they get back to that aspect.
Well, if they beat Central Florida, I think they're ranked.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it might be 25th, but I think they're ranked next week. Oh, I mean, I think they're going to be ranked next week. I think they're going to beat Central Florida. Now, the thing is, Paul said this in the chat too, which he's right. Central Florida always gives us problems. Are you worried about that at all? Because just I'll put it this way: what's your confidence level going into this game with Central Florida?
My confidence level is pretty high, because if people remember right, the last time Central Florida came to Cincinnati, they got absolutely steamrolled, and Jerome Ford had 204 rushing yards before UCF had 30 yards of total offense. And if they show up with the crowd that they had on Saturday versus Iowa State, that will play a huge factor. Obviously, UCF has a lot of uncertainties, especially at the quarterback position. Scott Frost, first year back. There's a lot of uncertainties. But with how things are going for UC right now and the mindset these guys have, I think this could be a game where UC goes out there and puts up another 40 points which is what they're averaging per game right now.
Which would be awesome. Now, I'm glad you brought the crowd because that's something I did want to bring up. That crowd was nuts Saturday. I know Angelo Dawkins was there, hyping the crowd up. The mailman was there. Harrison comedian
Butler.
was there. Yeah, Harrison comedian, Harrison Butler, our boy, was there. You guys are on the sidelines. Didn't call your boy up ice, say, hey, come on down, but whatever. What was that crowd like? I mean, that crowd to me felt like Fix last year. That's what that crowd felt like.
That's what that crowd felt like. But I will say, the fans who stormed the field this time compared to the AAC championship, I didn't see anybody break an ankle and lose their pants in the process this year, so that was a win. Because I saw that that year where they went to the playoffs. Jeff, I was standing right there in that corner where the wall goes up I think it's 12 feet.
Oh, yeah.
The guy jumped over that wall, just full parkoured it. And guy was too nimble to be jumping that high. I hate to say it. And as soon as he hit the ground, Jeff, his ankle went whoop, and then his pants just went straight down with it. It was like a 2-for-1 combo. But hey, props to the fans on that. We didn't see anybody get hurt. No fine for rushing the field as well, too, because everybody knows now if you rush the field and you do it in a way where somebody does get hurt, the conference will fine you. So UC got no fines for that as well. So overall, props to the field storming. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is the stripe out. The fans understood the assignment, and that was probably the best executed stripe out I have seen. Now, the Bengals tried to do it on Sunday. And
we had too many Lions fans show up. They couldn't do it.
It looked like an FC Cincinnati match in there.
It did. Unfortunately, it did. It did. Now, let's talk about they beat number 14 ranked team in the country. I think that was their biggest win of a ranked opponent. Okay, I was going to say 2009, but 2006. Actually, what game was that? 2006.
Rutgers.
Oh yeah, I was there. That's right, I was there. I remember that. Yeah, I didn't storm the crowd. I was there for the Central Florida game too when Ford went off on them. What is that? How does that boost this team and this fan base there to go in there and it was a close game. I know we didn't score in the second half, and there's a lot of flags in the second half, but I was pretty confident that throughout the second half we were going to win this game. The last couple of years, I'm kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. That was the first game for me. I'm like, I think we're going to win this. I think the Kansas game gave me that confidence, and it rolled into last week. But what is that? These past two wins, how does that boost the confidence of this team rolling into the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, I think the confidence you mentioned it. I think the confidence built from the Kansas game, and they carried that over. So I think that was huge to get them. But for them to carry that momentum over, if they can get it 3 straight in a row at Nippert Stadium here following the Northwestern State game, then you have the Iowa State, and then you can get a big win over UCF. If they win versus UCF and they win big and Baylor does their job on Saturday, I see the comment in here from Brad. If Baylor does their job and UC does their job, it's safe to say that will probably be your nip at night game.
That was my next question. I was going to bring Brad's comment up there, and I've said this a million times on this show. You can have all your games in the SEC, the world's biggest cocktail party, Red River rivalry, blah 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 blah.
There's nothing better than nip at night.
There's nothing better than nip at night. I don't give a crap what you say. Till you experience it, there's nothing better because we are in that hole in the middle of the campus, and that sound just swirls around in there, and the lights are going, especially the Bearcats come out in black, dude. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It is freaking awesome. It is one of the best college atmospheres around.
Could you imagine a nip at night with a Tawi Walker truck stick? That place would have been bonkers. More than what it was on Saturday. But that would have been crazy. I know you mentioned the black jerseys. Black jerseys, nip at night would be cool. However, hear me out. Hear me out.
What do you got?
Red jerseys, white helmets, red pants. Nip at night would be fire too. Everybody hates the white helmets. I love the white helmets. Everybody hates them.
Right, you said red jerseys, white helmets, white pants?
Red pants.
Red pants. Oh, it's all red and then white. All right. I actually liked the combo they had last week with the red helmets, the black
The
jerseys.
the combo last week was fire.
I like that one a lot. The red helmets, the black jerseys, and the red pants. That one looks really good. I like that one. But I mean, I'm old school, so I always like the all black, especially for the basketball team. I just black hat, but I love that. That's just me being a 50-year-old guy. And when UC started turning this crap around, basketball and football, we were known for the black. And now everybody wears black uniforms, which I mean, I still think it's crazy. Like the Detroit Lions, I think it was Monday night or whatever. They got black uniforms. They have no black in their color scheme. Duke has black uniforms. They're blue and white. They have no black. So like everybody just steals off of us.
Every team in college athletics has a black jersey. I feel like
they do, and they don't have black in their colors. But dude, legitly, that started here. Nobody wore all black uniforms so the Bearcats did it in basketball. Nobody did. And then now everybody's got one because it's badass because we're Bearcats and we're better than you are. Sorry.
It only took Tupac to wear a basketball jersey before everybody started wanting one.
Exactly. All right, Neil, you've been on for 51 minutes. Do me a favor, plug some stuff, tell everyone where they can find you, follow you, read your stuff, all that jazz.
Yeah, you guys can find me over at the Bearcat Blitz podcast. Check us out over at the Front Office News as well. And as Jeff mentioned, I'm actually going to be doing a sit-down podcast next week. This is the first one I'm going public with it with our guy, Angelo Dawkins. Next week, Bearcat Blitz podcast. He's going to come on. He's going to talk about the environment on Saturday, WWE Championship on Friday night, environment Saturday, leading the Bearcats out of the tunnel, the Big 12 partnership, all that good stuff. We're going to get into it. So be on the lookout for that as well. And yeah, the Front Office News, the Bearcat Blitz podcast. Find me over here on X, Twitter, whatever people might call it nowadays at Meyer Neil 6.
Yeah, I talked to Doc. He was at the tailgate Sunday, and he was wore out. His voice was gone from all the things he had to do on the mic there. And he was Monday. He was getting on a airplane and heading to Perth, Australia.
Yeah, he's got a title match on Friday morning.
He does. So hopefully I'll get off work in time to watch it. Hopefully he's not too. I think it starts I think it's like 8 a.m. like our time.
I think it's like 8 a.m.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll get off work in time to actually watch our boy Doc with the Street Profits. We want the smoke, baby. Neil, appreciate it, brother.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, dude. See ya. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Go check out Neil and all the cool things that he's got going on at the Front Office News and everything. If you want to know anything and everything about the Bearcats, Neil is your man. He knows it backwards and forwards. It's like it's his job or something, So anyway, I'm trying to fix something here real quick as I'm talking to you guys. That's why I'm doing that. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And do me a favor, go subscribe to my Substack. I didn't write an article today, but I've written a couple of them out there. Make sure you go check it out. All of those are under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I appreciate all the views, all the comments on the show, on the reels. You guys are doing awesome. Everything is going up on the show, up on Facebook, up on Twitter, all that stuff. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports Strawberries. Like, subscribe, share. I will be pulling up now. The one I need here, I need a little help with the podcast, all right? Like, nobody listens to the podcast. Well, I'll say nobody, but not that many people. So if you could do me a favor and share the podcast out, like I'll put it out there later on tonight and put it on Twitter. Go, retweet that. Get more people to listen to my podcast. I'd appreciate it. And when they do, tell them to rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping requires. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moline beer, some delicious Moline food. And tell them I sent you. Moline Lager House.
Again, I would be down at Moreland Lager House for the watch party for the Bengals-Packers game. I'm calling the game Flacco around and find out. I'm hoping to get some T-shirts made. We'll see how it does. But come on down to Moreland Lager House. I'll be down there starting at 3:30, playing some music, getting everybody hyped up and ready for the game. Please make sure you get your reservations at Moreland Lager House. Go to their Facebook page. You can get click on the link there, get some reservations. Also, it's on my Facebook page as well. So we're having $5 drafts, $5 well drinks, $5 shots of the day, $5 wines. Like I said, I'm giving away prizes. It's going to be a great time. Bengals are in this thing. Let's quit worrying about firing this guy, firing that guy. Let's find out what happens Sunday first. Just my opinion. Come on down and have some fun at Moreline Lager House. And let me get to a couple more comments here because Josh Bolta's in there. And he says, GD! Flacco looks good in the Bengals jersey. He's wearing number 16. Boys and girls, if you're wondering if you haven't seen that yet. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Remember one thing and one thing only. That's Who Dey for life. Throw it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.